Messages are a part of our lives. Sometimes we receive messages on our phones or letters in the post or see a report on the news. We swipe or open or listen carefully to hear what the message is. It's then our job to respond to the message. In the Old Testament, there were people called prophets who had an important message for the people. The prophets were God's way of speaking to his people. They acted like a microphone or a megaphone which God spoke through. The prophets were there for two reasons in particular: to tell people to turn away from their sins and come back to God, who they'd been ignoring, and they'd also tell people about the hope that was to come. They were a bit like clues for a detective to solve, or pieces of a puzzle. Throughout our journey through the Bible, ever since the sadness in the garden, we have had a message of hope about a deliverer who would come. And even though they lived many years before, the prophets told the people a little bit more about this deliverer that was to come. Here are some of the things that the prophets told us about the hope to come. Where would he be born? Well, the prophet Micah told the people that they shouldn't expect their Saviour to be born in a big city or in a palace. He would be born in the little town of Bethlehem. Who would he be related to? We are told he would come from the line of Eve, Abraham and David. What would he be like? The prophet Zechariah tells us he would be called king. But Isaiah tells us that he wouldn't look like a king. He wouldn't be particularly handsome. In fact, he would be hated by others. This is what Isaiah says. He had no beauty or majesty to attract us to him, nothing in his appearance that we should desire him. He was despised and rejected by mankind, a man of suffering and familiar with pain. The prophets also tell us why he came. There is bad news and good news here. The bad news is that because we have sinned, we need someone to come and save us. Or as Isaiah puts it, we all like sheep have gone astray. Each of us has turned to our own way. We have hearts that are cold and far from God. But Jeremiah and Ezekiel, two more prophets, they tell us that he has come to give us new hearts. So how exactly can he save us? How would he do it? Well, this is where the prophet surprised the people. Isaiah tells us that he would suffer and die for our sins, and that we would be healed through his pain. That's a lot to take in, isn't it? This wonderful king who wouldn't look like a king, who was born in a little town, who would grow up to be hated, and then would die on behalf of those that have gone away from him. He would set them free, and he would give them new hearts. All these clues, but they didn't say exactly when he would appear. Surely he would come soon.